All right, and this opportunity, I'd like to welcome Honorable Danita Gati, who is nominated Member of Parliament. Thank you for joining us. And we're just reviewing the newspapers, and maybe just to give you, I know you were listening in as we were still going on, but just your thoughts on the war on graft that is going on right now. And specifically, we've seen the grilling of the CS Rotich, but again, Kenyans are saying, we've seen this before, we've had this before, but we need some meat out of it. Your thoughts?
Thank you very much. And for me, I think as we stand now, the war on graft is just too much. It is extremely, we cannot even talk about it. We don't know where it has just come from. When you say
too much, do you say it's too dramatic, maybe?
Too, you know, it is too extraordinary. I mean, there's so much money that is actually circulating in this country. There is so much money that we can't even talk about. And that's why you even heard our party leader talking about just loose change. People are just having money, just right, left, and center, just like loose change. I mean, I think for me, corruption is a national disaster. And the president one time actually termed this corruption a national disaster. And I think for me, where he is now, he's in the right place to fight corruption. And that's why we support him. We fight the president. We support the president at this juncture. And it's so funny that, you know, the names that are being mentioned actually are people of integrity. We thought that people of integrity in this country. And that the people who are engaging in this huge corruption scandals that are happening in this country. I think corruption is really killing our economy. And we support the president. It is a high time that actually corruption is addressed.
Absolutely. And what would give you confidence that our leaders actually mean what they say, especially by virtue of the fact in Chapter 6 of the Constitution, it talks about leadership and integrity. The minute your name is mentioned or there are doubts cast there, do you think we should mature to a point where a leader should actually step aside? A
leader is supposed to step aside. There is no point of going to...
If you are mentioned, would you step aside?
If I'm mentioned, I would step aside to pave way for investigations. I mean, in developed countries, that's what they do. They step aside on any small little item that really implicates them. But how come in Kenya you are actually told you are implicated and you continue appearing in court and you continue serving your people? What business do these people have in those lines? Leaders who have been implicated in any scandal involving corruption in this country
should step aside.
Should step aside. Henry Rotich should not even be going to appear before DCI or whatever. He needs to step aside, let him be investigated. What is happening in this country is extremely wrong.
Honorable Passaris?
You see, there is a saying, there's no smoke without fire.
Right.
Okay? But the fact is, in Kenya, there is a lot of smoke without fire, okay? Because I mean, if you look at headlines, okay? Let's just take, for instance, Governor Waiguru. She was in the headlines for over a month. If she had, and she refused to step aside, and then eventually I think she stepped aside because she was unwell, okay? Not because of the accusation, it was the pressure. She never accepted that.
She was advised by the doctor to take lighter duties.
Yes.
Of course, some might also argue that lighter duties, governing a county is not really that light.
Yes, that's true. But the thing is, again, there were so many headlines, and what's the conclusion on that case? There was this hairdresser who opened 20 or so accounts and transferred billions. What happened to NYS? So for me, I feel that if everybody steps aside because there's a mere headline that she is or he is involved in corruption, then everybody would step aside because every single day there's some headline or the other coming out.
But how do we have that integrity?
We need if the president is serious about dealing with corruption, he needs to bring in the best from the West. Yeah, the best from the West.
Does that mean that as a country we're not able to deal?
As a country we're not able because we will go and corrupt the individual investigating, we will influence this one. We already, listen, when people start doubting, you know, judges, when you have a doubt that the judge is going to hear your case well, you ask him to recuse himself. You say, you know what, I don't trust that you can be objective. You know, so I think you have an interest. And in Kenya, everybody has an interest because, you know what, to make a quick buck here or there. We saw it with the ICC, all right? So for me, I feel Kenyans cannot trust Kenyans. If you arrest X because the DCI said he is corrupt, there will always be that lingering thought that the DCI was set up. When you have doubt, then you never have a just system.
Absolutely.
People have to eventually say, yes, this was true, this was justice. And the media, is crucifying certain people. The social media is crucifying certain people. So as far as I'm concerned, for me to feel that it's true, I want us to bring in the best. We get FBI, we get CIA.
So your solution would be now importing investigators and having them have a free hand to do what they need to do.
I think the president should sign a memorandum with the British government, with the Prime Minister of the UK, and sign an agreement that, you know, we have decided that we really want to deal with corruption, because he did say, whether it's my brother, let him go in.
Absolutely.
Okay, so at the end of the day, let him call them, sign an agreement, give them 6 months. I tell you, they wouldn't need more than 6 months.
We'll need to take a break.
And they will find out. They will find out and report to us. And I want the investigation to start from the first corruption scandals that we've had, from Goldenberg to Eurobond to Anglo Leasing to all these things right now. Let them give Kenyans a report.